The Afford Law live stream. My name is Attorney Paul Whalen with Afford Law, where we practice criminal and family law throughout Massachusetts. Our fees are based on a sliding scale based on our client's income. So the less you make, the less you get charged. Today, I just wanted to take a moment to discuss with you one of the possible outcomes in a criminal case in Massachusetts. What we're going to be talking about is called a CWOF, C-W-O-F. That stands for a continuation without a finding of guilt. There are two big advantages to a CWOF. The first big advantage is it is not a conviction. So if you have a CWOF on your record and somebody asks you, such as an employer, potential employer, a landlord, or whatever, have you been convicted of that crime? You can truthfully tell them that you have not been convicted of that crime. That's the first big advantage. The second big advantage of what happens is you're on probation for a period of time. So let's just say it's for 1 year. So you get a CWOF for 1 year. You have to complete that 1 year of probation without getting rearrested. You need to pay whatever fees and fines that need to be paid. And if there are any conditions to your probation, such as if you have to attend a class or to stay away from a particular area, you must satisfy all the conditions of your probation, not get rearrested, and pay all the fines and fees. Of course, they're always looking for the money. However, if you successfully complete that probationary period, in this case for 1 year, your case gets dismissed at the end of that 1 year. So ultimately, it's a delayed dismissal. So a CWOF is a very good outcome for a lot of cases. If you don't want to take your case to trial, if you don't have much or any of a criminal record, a CWOF could very well be something that you would look to. CWOFs are typically only for first-time offenders, although there's a little bit of leeway in there if the charge is not too serious and if you don't have much of a record, you might be able to get a CWOF. If you've gotten a CWOF in the past, it's less likely that the prosecution would offer and the judge would go along with a CWOF, but it's still possible, especially if there's been a long period of time between the last CWOF and the current one. So keep that in mind when you're trying to wrap up your case and you're trying to determine if you should, in fact, plea out to the case. So it is a plea. It's not you're not taking it to trial. That's one of the decisions you have to make. So if you feel you have a strong case, you may want to try the case, but of course that comes with a risk, because if you try your case and you lose, then that you would get a guilty, almost always get a guilty at that point, and you could not, and that is a conviction. So a guilty is a conviction. So that would be on your record unless you qualify for a sealing or possibly an expungement, which are very rare, but possible. But you could seal the record, but not. But for a guilty, think of it as that's going to be on your record forever. As a safety measure, you should keep that in mind. So if you take the case to trial and you get found guilty, you'll have a criminal record. You may or may not be able to seal, but others could have access to that. If you get a CWOF, a continuation without a finding of guilt, you're not saying that you're guilty. That's the big thing. You're just admitting to sufficient facts. So you're saying that I'm admitting to sufficient facts. I think the prosecution has enough evidence to put on that they could convince a juror or a judge that I have committed this crime, and basically I don't want to take my chances at trial. So keep that in mind. A CWOF is a very important outcome. It can be a very good outcome depending on the facts of your case. So just keep that in mind. If you have any questions, please feel free to give us a call at Afford Law or visit us at affordlaw.org. We are making justice affordable. Thank you.